Can anybody remind me what a polygon is? A shape made up of? Straight lines. Perfect. So we talked about interior to find the total measure of the interior angles. There was like a pattern to it, or a formula. Does anybody remember what it was? N minus 2 times 180. I'm going to keep that up there for the remainder of class so you can keep looking at it. N minus 2 times 180. What does N represent in this formula? The number of sides. What does N minus 2 represent? How many triangles there are. And for every triangle, there are 180 degrees. That's why you multiply. In this picture, what do we have to do to figure out how many sides there are?
Count vertices.
Yeah, we can count. I count vertices, like RJ said. So if we count, we got 1, 2, 3. We got 10. Am I right or am I right? So what do I do with this 10? I'm going to plug it in. Yep. 10 minus 2 times 180. 10 minus 2 is 8 times 180 is 1440. That's it. I believe the next two, we're going to use a sheet of paper just to refresh. Yep, we did these yesterday. On your sheet of paper, unless you want to write all of the instructions, which I highly doubt you do, I'm going to highlight what I suggest you write down. Find the sum of the interior angles for the first set of instructions on your sheet of paper, piece of notebook paper, as it says in the bottom corner. I would write dodecagon, obviously. To set up the second problem, the sum of the measures of the interior angles is given. Classify the polygon. Again, if you want to write all of it, go right ahead. I do not prefer it. I'm sure you don't either. So in the first part, are we looking for a word or a number answer? A number answer. In the second, are we looking for a number or word answer? A word. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind. In the first, we're given a dodecagon. To find the sum of the interior angles, what does sum mean?
Addition.
Yeah, the answer to an addition problem. So what do all the angles on the inside add up to? How can we figure that out? We just talked about it.
N minus 2 times.
Yeah, the formula n minus 2 times 180. So how many sides, so we can find n, how many sides does a dodecagon have?
12.
12. So we will plug in 12 for n. 12 minus 2 times 180, which would give us 10 times 180. Which is 1800 degrees. Questions on that one? How are we feeling on it? Good, medium, meh? 2 people answered. Great. Next one. We're finding a classification of a polygon. In this one, we're given the degrees, so we want to work our way backwards. So in our last step, in the first problem, we multiplied. Was the opposite of multiplying? Dividing. So we're going to divide by 180 to find out how many triangles fit inside. It would be 7. In the step before that, we subtracted 2. So what's the opposite of subtracting 2? Adding 2. So we got 9. Did I classify a polygon?
No.
No. What does 9 tell me?
Your number.
My number of sides. Yeah, vertices, sides. So if I have a 9-sided figure, what do we call that? Nonagon. It doesn't sound like it'd be a word, but it is. Questions on these two? All right. These are not on your notes. If you would just like to follow along, you can. How many? So first off, can I add these up, set them equal to 180? No. No, because it's not a triangle. Could I add them up, set them equal to 360? No, it's not a quadrilateral. What is it? A pentagon. So I need to figure out how many degrees fit inside of a pentagon. There are many ways to do this. But what's the formula way? N minus 2 times 180. This is a pentagon, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my number of sides is 5. What's 5 minus 2? 3. What is 3 times 180, y'all? It is 540. So, if it's 540, did I just find my answer? No. What do I need to do? Combine them and then set them equal to 540. So here we go. Pick an angle to start with. Sure. So we got 100 plus 70. Obviously, you could do this somewhat in your head. But someone out there is not really listening to what I'm saying and just looking at what I'm doing. Plus x plus what?
90.
Plus 90. Most common mistake, they forget the 90. And then plus x. And it equals 540. All right, my human calculators. What's 170 plus 90? 260. X and x make 2x. And all of that equals 540. Next step. Subtract 260. What's 540 minus 260? 180. Divide by 2 and x equals? I do not agree. Sorry, it took me a second. 280. Divide by 2 and x equals 140. Questions on this one? Okay. All right. So these are the last 2 pages of your notes. You want to look at them? The top portion is on page 3. It just shows you the property. Bless you. The bottom portion is on page 4 with the problem. So we've talked about interior. Now we're going to talk about exterior. Where are exterior angles? On the outside. So here, if you look, the sum, so when you add all of the angles up, the sum of the measures of the exterior angles of a convex polygon, does it classify which one? Or does it kind of mean all of them? Does it specify? Nope, it says of a polygon. So any of them, one in each vertex. That means there are 5 sides, there are 5 vertices, there are 5 exterior angles. That's all it means. So the sum is 360. So for any angle or any shape, quadrilateral, octagon, dodecagon, a 24-sided ridiculous polygon, the outside angles add up to 360. And that's it. So in this problem, we're going to add them up, set them equal to 360, because that's just what we do. So, give me one of my first angles to start with.
162.
Sure, let's start with 162 plus, we'll just keep going around the circle, 4x plus 98 plus x, and it equals 360. We're actually on the next page. All right, let's add our angles. What's 160? Well, Yeah, let's do the angles first. What's 162 plus 98? 260. All right, and then we have 4x and x, which make 5x equals 360. My classes have disappointed me so far today with their division skills. Subtract 260, what do we get? 100. Divide by 5. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think about 100, I think about like money, right? $100 divided by 5, which is 20. It's been the hardest question today. It makes me worried for our future. All right, so did I add them up, set them equal to 360 because this is a quadrilateral?
No.
Nope, I did it because this is what we do for any polygon whatsoever. So if it had 1 billion sides, which would not happen, but it doesn't matter the amount of sides. When it's exterior, you add them up, set them equal to 360. We have one more problem, and we're going to go to the piece of paper. And I will tell you what to draw, or you're going to draw a ridiculous shape that you probably aren't very good at. I say that with love. So you want a decent amount of space. Each face of the dodecahedron is shaped like a regular pentagon. So pause. You're like, what in the world is a dodecahedron? Don't worry about it. It's a 3-dimensional object. Basically, every single face is a pentagon. Do you see how this has 5 sides? 5 sides, 5 sides. Kind of like a soccer ball, yeah. Probably just like a soccer ball. Is a soccer ball all pentagons? I thought they were hexagons.
Yeah, I think one of them is, and then the rest of them are not.
So think of that. So what happens is, yesterday we learned about the word regular, which is highly important here. I want you on your paper to write down the words regular pentagon, and then to the best of your ability, just draw one pentagon. Do not try to draw a soccer ball. It's not easy. So I highlighted in red the pentagon you want to draw. It's like an upside down home plate, an upside down house, a pathetic star. You could draw a straight line. It does start with one of those. Then you'll write letter A. Find, I'm trying to shorten this for you. Find each interior. Letter B, find each exterior. I'm trying to shorten it for you. We're doing 2 things here. So I already underlined the important part. What does the word regular mean to us?
It's the same. All, like, the sides and angles are all the same.
It's equilateral and equal angle, which is what you're saying. All of the sides are congruent, and all of the angles are congruent. But what part of that will actually help me find an interior angle or an exterior angle? The fact that my angles are congruent. So you want to kind of draw that they're congruent. Now it super looks like a soccer ball. So, I want to find each interior angle. I don't want to find what they all add up to. But what they all add up to will actually help me. Because if all of the angles are the same measure, if I found out what all of them added up to, how could I evenly disperse?
Divide it by how many?
I would divide it by 5. So I need to know how many degrees fit inside of a pentagon in the first place. Some of you probably already memorized it by now, which is fine. But if you haven't, to figure out the sum of all the angles on the inside, you would do n minus 2 times 180. I know it's repetitive, but it is what it is. What is 3 times 180? 540. So if there is 540 degrees total, and I want to split it 5 even ways, you've already said it, I'm going to divide it by my 5 angles, which will get me the number 108. 60. What did you divide it by? Did you divide it by 3? No. You divided it by 6? No. I don't know how you got 60. You divided by 9. Are we okay with 108? Okay. Alright, so that's how you find the interior, each of them. If you took each of them, 108, 108, 108, they all add up to 540. Alright, letter B. This is a part that students struggle with more than the interior. They're the exterior. So I'm going to erase what I had. So exterior, let's see what color. Can you see yellow? Yeah. So exterior are like if the edges were prolonged, if that makes sense. So all of the things in yellow are the exterior angles. How many exterior angles are there? 5 of them. So because the angles on the inside were the same measure, the angles on the outside will all have to be the same measure as well. So when you're looking at the total degrees on any exterior shape, how many degrees do they add up to? 360. Does that ever change? No. So what I'm going to do is very similar. I'm going to take my 360 degrees, and I need to split it evenly 5 ways. How do I do that? Divided by 5. And you would get 72. These two numbers should add up to 180 because they form a linear pair. So you know. Fun fact. So we're going to play a Kahoot. What is my one rule when we play Kahoot? Above the desk. Obviously, it's beyond Kahoot, not anything else. So check the 2 rules. You may go and get them.